This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
This episode is brought to you by...
Shouldn't having conversations with your money be easy? Easier than counting the planets, at least. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Oh, what happened to Pluto? Did it offend someone? F&M Trust is here to help you have better conversations with your money. Go bank it easy at fmtrust.bank.
Hey everybody, it's episode 137 of Beers in the Lot. Let me just take a quick second to remind you about our merchandise shop at beersinthelot.com/shop. It's getting to be springtime, so we're probably going to add a few more things with shorter sleeves and such, so be sure to check it out often. And don't forget to join the Discord at beersinthelot.com/discord and join in the conversation there. So in episode 137, me and the guys talked about the Old Fat Bald Guys Hockey League Championship weekend, where Daniel and I played in the consolation game against John's team, and Riggs played for the championship. Then we talked a little bit about what you do in the locker room music-wise after a loss, and how you can use negative reinforcement to try and snap your losing streaks. And it's no secret, we've got 3 Penguins fans and a Capitals fan on this podcast, so we couldn't help but talk a little bit about the Caps and Penguins and their game that they played on Saturday, March 25th, and the state of the rivalry. So let's get to it. Let's crack the beers. Here we go.
Two pours, one borderline call for help, and I just have a can. Okay. Daniel, what are you drinking this evening?
So tonight, going a little bit different. I have Kirkland Signature Premium Golden Margarita.
The Costco Rita.
Just listen to it.
I love that. Just sounds like good old-fashioned American value.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a nice plastic bottle. Like, what's more high class than this?
People are gonna knock. We had this conversation, like Kirkland brand. There's nothing wrong with the Kirkland brand.
Picked up my margarita mix and got a hot dog and soda for $1.50. I mean, what more do you want?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You can't not, right? I mean, you can't not.
Yeah.
What do you got over there tonight, Riggs?
So I've been inspired by our friend Brandon McGee's beer selections the last few weeks in OFBG. He recently started featuring the Bell's variety pack frequently in the good beer cooler, as we like to call it.
Oh, yes.
The good beer cooler. Yes.
So I snagged one of those 12 packs, and I am enjoying the Big Hearted IPA from Bell's tonight.
Nice.
Very, very good.
It's a fish beer.
Yes, it has a big fish on it. Yeah.
Big kind of beer an angler would drink.
That's right. Yeah, I should have.
It's that time of year, man.
I should have wore some PFG. Oh well. I was looking at the first fish reports in the Coastal Fisherman today. So yeah. Anyways, Aaron, what do you have? As if I don't already know.
Yeah, you know, but courtesy of you, Riggs. I actually just noticed this. It's a great birthday present. It says, "Don't age, drink fresh."
That's right.
It's instructions for the beer, but I'm taking it as instructions for myself to not age. That is on the side of my can of Attaboy beer, Backyard Hero, the Czech lager that Eric has been telling me to try for. How long have we been doing the pod? How long has this beer been out? Like, he's been telling me to try it forever, and he was right. It's delicious.
Finally just gave it to him. Like, here, try it now.
Damn it. If you won't go get it, then here.
I had to drive 3 times as far from your office to Attaboy, from my house to Attaboy, to get it. So there you go. Anyway.
No, it's a delicious beer. Tastes even better in my Beers in a Lot pint glass.
Yes.
So I've got something good here tonight. What about you, John? What you got?
I have from Dogfish Head. It's one of my favorite beers, the Sea Quench Ale. I'll probably finish this in like 2 minutes and crack another one. So
it's like a sports drink.
Oh yeah, this is like Gatorade.
Yeah.
You've had these a few times too, haven't you?
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite sours because some sours I had this conversation when I brought it up. Like you can have 1 or 2 of a lot of them, just because like they're a little acidic. so it kind of like comes back. But like this, I can kill like a 6-pack and keep chugging like nothing's. I mean, well, yeah, I can kill a lot of 6-packs, but
We know.
but like, yeah, yeah, it's all in good fun.
Speaking of fun, it was a good night last night, if you ask me.
Lots of fun.
Fun was had.
Actually, last night was fun for a lot of reasons.
A lot of electricity in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
Felt like everybody was just riding high.
Last night, a lot of jabs were being thrown left and right. You know, hooks, body shots, rib shots. You know, some like lower leg kicks missed the intended parties and hit others. It was awesome. So, yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was OFBG Championship weekend for season 348. I don't even know what season it is.
Yeah.
But who's keeping track? Anyway, yeah, we Daniel and I and field reporter Ross took on John's team in the consolation game, and we were consoled for the most part. Daniel was consoled 5 times, and then Rigsby's team was in the championship game, and it was a barn burner. Went to overtime.
It was a tryout. I heard it was a tryout. There's a lot of bodies wearing bibs. They got cut in the first round of the tryout.
They had high jersey numbers.
Oh. Ouch. Oof.
That was a good game. That's probably the only one I've watched, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever watched any other championship game if I wasn't in it.
Yeah, not championship game. We watched, John and Riggs' teams face off earlier in the season. That was a good game. But yeah, last night was great. It was 3-2 with a minute or two left in the third. And then our own Eric Rigsby popped in the equalizer.
Big
to send
equalizer.
it to overtime.
Defensive coverage on him, I would like to say that. Or defensive coverage in front. He was wide open.
There's nobody there.
He could have had a paper straw and put that in. Oh my gosh. He had so much time.
However, that play was, built on the fact that his opponents couldn't put in an empty net goal a mere 20 seconds before. And had they, the game might have been different. Well, it might have been decided sooner, I should say.
Yeah, the result was the same.
The result would have been the same.
I don't understand the
point. Wait, I'm confused. Did they have because I wasn't there at this point. So
yeah, they had an empty net. Yeah.
Did they have, wait. Did they have a chance to put it in, or did they they just essentially threw puck possession away?
Johnny,
they had 5 chances.
They had the puck in the zone for a good 20, 30 seconds. And they had at least 3 shots that I saw. And
not on net though.
None of them on net. Empty net.
There was only 2 or 3 of them in the zone though. And at one point 2 of them fell down on top of each other, and
yes.
We're trying to bat at the puck from the ice. It was
I wasn't there, but I can guess
it was a ludicrous display.
You know the 2.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm sure I could guess the 2.
It was
sure
wild.
You know who.
It was wild. It was fun to watch though.
It was wild.
It was more comical, I think, from our end.
Everybody's just yelling at the other benches.
But then as the game kept going on, we were joking. We've never had a situation where the championship game goes into overtime.
Not true. Not true, by the way. And we'll get to that. But that's not true.
So at least in my I don't remember.
Memory.
But anyway, we were joking. We were making up our own rules. We're like, it can't go to a shootout. We don't want double IHF stuff. Play 3-on-3, play 2-on-2, play 1-on-1. And then I at one point said, just put the puck in the middle and have the goalies freaking just see who scores. Just let the goalies bull rush each other. I did say this though. I said it 2 or 3 times when someone was like, it's going to go to a shootout, and they were favoring Riggs's team because of the shooters. And I said, it's the guy in the crease.
That's right.
And I did say Goody.
Yes.
I was like, I don't care what you say about his team collective of shooters, I was like, I trust Goody in this situation. I was like, I'm not saying I don't trust the shooters, but in this situation, it favors heavily the goalie. Overtime doesn't.
Yeah.
That's a shooter's scenario, but
I agree with you. Yep.
There have been multiple OFBG championships decided in overtime, both in the league and in summer tournament.
Oh wow.
I know summer, yes.
So
yeah.
the confusion last night was infuriating because we've done that before. We've done this before. Like, and you know, we have some leadership around that's been around for a long time, so it shouldn't have been hard for the elders to figure out. But instead of
we need to
standing
get
around,
a scroll.
instead of standing around for 10 minutes wasting time that we could have been out in the lot, regardless of the fucking result.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we're sitting around arguing about, oh, 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. Well, we've never done 3-on-3 before, so that's a disadvantage, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Who gives a shit? Just do what we've done before. Like, we do OT and then a shootout. Like, that's it. Get off the ice.
Yep.
Fuck me.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that important who wins.
Right. At that point, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's like, it was a great game. Like, if it goes through an overtime and nobody's won, then it was a great game. Let's get this over with so we can go drink.
Let's just end it.
Yeah.
End it. Who cares? God damn.
Let's go grab a Molson.
Yeah, kick off her boots and have a
Kick off
Molson.
boots and have a Molson.
It's ridiculous. But actually, at one point, it was kind of hilarious during our game because what was it? What was the final? It was
8-7.
8-7. So like,
Very low scoring affair.
I was joking, like, you know, in all the playoff games, we scored 7 or more in both games, and we're 0-2, which is comical. But then the other thing, Bomani, I guess your goalie was like gone for like 2 weeks just with family stuff and everything else.
We got injured.
So when it was 5-5, he said, he goes, "Oh my gosh, goaltenders duel. Our goalie was gone for 2 weeks. What's with your guys?" And I just looked at him and smiled, and I said, "Our goalie's been here all year." Like, it was kind of funny. Nice guy, like I said, but nice guy. But, yeah, it was still fun. Like, that was a good pace game. It was decent. So can't complain.
1 goal game. It's good.
I had a blast last night. Like, I wish I said it a bunch of times last night, but I wish every OFBG game was like that. I wish I wish they were all 1 goal, 2 goal games, you know, back and forth. Like, that's the way it's
way more fun that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
We only had 9. It was stellar.
Well, no comment there, but yeah.
Yeah, you guys had like 4 rounds of cuts during your games, right?
We had healthy scratches in the stands.
It looked like a peewee. Yeah, it looked like a peewee tryout. Just kept whittling kids down left and right.
We had guys eating popcorn in the media booth.
I did ask a few of the guys on your team, like, after the game, I'm like, "I'm shocked you're out so fast." They're like, "What do you mean?" It was like, "I thought you get on the stationary bike. You got to get your heart rate up, you know, so you can get your workload in today."
A couple of guys are going down the tunnel to stay warm. Yeah.
Some took it with a smile. Others didn't have a smile on their face. So I don't know.
I mean, the question was asked to the bench by the captain, and it was a unanimous yes. So
yeah,
you know,
that's how it goes in these sort of things.
Right.
Like, do we want to win or do you want to get tries time?
That's the question. And everybody went one way, so whatever.
Yeah. What else we got? There's no hockey. We're not playing hockey. Are you doing a pickup, John, next week?
Yeah, we're
gonna be able to get on the ice.
We're gonna do a pickup to prevent like 3 weeks off, because after that it's Masters Sunday. I mean Easter. And then I think we're gonna take a week off after that and start up, just because of the way
that's too long.
Because that's spring break for a lot of people too. Like just the way Easter goes this year. Like, that Friday starts spring break, so everyone's gonna be off that week. Comes back, we're off again, and then start the following week. So, but apparently, like, I was talking to the powers that be, by doing it that way, it gives us like no break. So it's like league and then tournament, and then we'll take a little, like maybe all of August off again, start up in September, something like that. So
Nice.
just the way it all lines up, because normally we usually either start like the week after Easter or kind of like essentially do a pickup or two and then Easter, something like that. However it lines up. But this year, I think the way the calendar is, it just makes the most sense to do it this way.
Yeah, 3 weeks off though, that's too long. I'm glad a pickup's getting put together.
Yeah.
In for
week.
sure.
No ice.
Yeah, if there's ice, I'm there, dude. Whatever.
Yeah.
You let me know.
And we got championship Goody, so he has to come out, get knocked down a peg or two, so he doesn't get too big for his britches. Actually, for the goalie that was on the worst team in the regular season, not that I look at stats, but he had the lowest GAA entering the playoffs of all the starting goalies. We, as the first seed overall, high, had the goalie with the highest GAA entering the playoffs, which is even more comical. But, meh.
Pretty crazy.
It's beer league, man. It's the way it goes.
Beer league. Yep.
Beer league.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Well, as Danny sips on margarita.
Yeah, anything is possible.
With enough tequila.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I need it after today. Ooh. I was tired from drinking yesterday, so I was tired all day. I got to drink more.
Tired from scoring all his goals.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's what I told him. I went in the locker room. I was like, you guys are welcome for being consoled.
I walked into your room. What did I say? Do you remember what I said? Because I have my speaker. I took our speaker on the bench. Me and another guy were like, we're bringing the speaker on the bench. Doesn't matter. So after we got off the ice, I came in. The speaker's still going. I was like, damn it, we lost again. We got to listen to Adele. I was playing Skyfall and Rolling in the Deep last week. We lost.
Hey, she's got some pipes.
Dude,
She does, yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I'm not one of those cats who rolls around, like, listen to it all the time, but man, every once in a while, a good Adele song just gets me fired up. Just, man. Because, I drive all the time, so, like, I can only listen to so many podcasts and shit. So, like, I'll just turn on a playlist, and Skyfall is one of my favorite Bond songs. Oh, and the No Time to Die, the Billie Eilish one from the last Daniel Craig movie. Oh, Chef's Kiss. So good. Aaron knows. We're big Bond movie guys. Big Bond movie guys. So, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Adele's not terrible punishment music because that's what it was, right? He's like, we didn't win. We got to listen to punishment music. Right?
Yeah, sad songs. Sad songs.
Yep. Well, Adele for punishment music is way better than, cutting out the beers or something like that, which we've had to do in past seasons. The team loses.
Right, but that was to break losing streaks. That was
to break losing streaks. Yeah.
Hey, we've dropped to we would drop if you lose, no music, right? You lose, no, that's my rule. Right.
You
lose, no
Sit in
music.
silence and
No
think
music.
about what you've
You
done.
can have a beer, whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
You lose 2 games. All right, now we need to start thinking about negative reinforcement, right?
Negative reinforcement.
You lose
and the third one.
You lose the third one.
Riggs is handing out individual mirrors so everyone can look at themselves after the game. Hey, you need to look inside yourself and figure out what you can do.
Who am I?
Yeah, who am I? don't know.
Those second and third losses, we're taking stuff away, man.
You
we're
get to 4 losses, Riggs comes into the locker room and he's just yelling at people. He's like, no, nobody talks. Riggs this is a time for introspection.
Riggs is demanding a trade in a no trade league. Like, you guys got to make it happen. I can't function with these guys. Like,
I still like the idea of doing
the Survivor. The Survivor,
Survivor style.
I like the Survivor. I think you said it, Danny.
What's the hat draw?
So you have 4 teams, and each team votes a player off.
Yeah,
and then it goes into essentially like a hat or a bucket, whatever you want, and it's a blind draw
The
and those
captain
players
draws.
and those players are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. So we were joking how funny it would be where the guy that
Drew
gets
their own
so
traded,
amazing.
he drew, like, I get voted off the island, so to say, by team 3. I'm labeled 3. Team 3 picks 3 again, and I have to walk back into the same locker room again. Like, oh gosh, that'd be so funny.
It'd be so good.
You sons of bitches. Like, just like, imagine that.
I think that has to be implemented. That has to be a thing.
I think we should do like a trade deadline. Not to like anything bad, or like, it would be comical, of course, because it's the group of guys we play with, but also like as a leveling tool to some extent. And also too, we've had it before where like teams on paper, it looks like things should be even, because we have had it in past years. Like, it looks like all the teams are fairly on, like I said, on paper, it works, but there's something, as Eric said, in the room. Maybe the guys didn't get their mirrors that day or something. They're just not, they're not helping out. I don't know what.
Bad chemistry.
Yeah, bad chemistry, bad mojo, something. You never know. So it could be just an interesting wrinkle. And especially too, like if a team that's doing fine but has to make the trade, so they do a trade and then they totally just sabotage themselves and go on like a total tailspin, it would be even more funny. Like stuff like that. Be golden.
I think it'd be great. Yep.
Yeah, just for the drama.
New spin on a draft league.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing stuff the same way for years.
378 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
I like how the number keeps increasing.
Right?
It was finally in 2023, the year of our Lord, we decided to change. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, quick intermission here while we hear from our sponsors.
Shouldn't having conversations with your money be easy? Way easier than translating texts and all emojis. Smiley face, siren, apple? Mom is eating a spicy apple? What? F&M Trust is here to help you have better conversations with your money. Our FlexLock line of credit lets you borrow from your home for big purchases. Go bank it easy at fmtrust.bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Oh, why did I teach her to text?
Well, but, thinking of like seeing the same shit over and over, Danny and I were going back about the Penguin and Cap game on Saturday night. It was kind of retro feeling a little bit. Like almost subtract the fact that teams are kind of clearly at the tail end. Pittsburgh is hanging by a moment to the last wild card, and the Caps kind of look like,
the way that they're playing is like, 15 years ago now, 16 years ago, whatever it was. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
like
that game specifically, it looked Penguins and Caps of normal,
of yesteryear,
what we've grown up seeing. Pittsburgh jumps out to a lead, Caps come back, Pens pull it out barely, and if you're a Caps fan, you're like, man, they did all right. And if you're a Pens fan, they're like, wow, look at us. And I was like,
disregard the 3-goal lead they gave up.
Yeah, exactly.
We almost lost that.
It was kind of vintage Letang. 2 dumb plays in front of his own net. Oh, it was lovely. It was lovely. But that game, like, Kuznetsov looked good. Backstrom looked like he had a little jump in his step. He's
against like good teams.
Yeah,
like they've been playing up and playing down.
Exactly.
Right? So like they'll play up to them and they're in it. Or like a couple weeks ago, like they play up against, or like a month ago, right? They play up against Boston and they beat them on national TV, right? And then they fall apart against like, Columbus or whatever. Like, and it
team with 49 regulation wins.
Right. So it's like
the Bruins.
They just play up and down, right? And I think that's because like the leadership, right? Ovechkin, Backstrom, Wilson's back fully now. Even Kuznetsov, despite all the whatever is going around him right now about requesting a trade or not requesting a trade or whatever it was. He's like he'll get up for those games too. Like You know, I think a lot of that has to do too, like especially with the Pittsburgh game for him. Like the night before, Gino had
Yep.
all the Caps Russians over to his house for dinner.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
So I think a
Mhm.
lot of that is like, you know, some friendly competition kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So but also like he's looked good against the really good teams, the Bostons and the Rangers and you know, all these guys. So I don't know, man. Again, we've been talking about it for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
It
It's
it's coming. It's coming.
Mhm.
The end is near.
The end is near.
I mean, they said it. They said it like 2 or 3 times on the broadcast. You know how the teams are kind of not the powerhouses they were, but this is still exciting. And then they mentioned near the end of the game it has 4. You know, Backstrom, Ovechkin, Gino, Sid, 4 of the top 85 scorers all time in the NHL.
Right.
All
The whole
time.
Yeah.
Right.
So normally when they say that, you're not year 3 of your career. You're
Right.
definitely
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
you're on
Right.
amen corner at Augusta. Like you are definitely on your back 9. Like it is, you know, it's just the way it is. So I liked it because it was kind of like it was interesting to see like some of the emotion from like Ovi and Gino and Sid, like those guys that like Ovechkin is definitely the most like emotional out of all of them in terms
Yeah.
of showing it.
Yeah.
But like to see Gino and Sid have some of the reactions they did in that game, it was kind of nice to see. Like there's a lot of like talk, you know, especially with some of the guys like, they don't care anymore. I call bullshit on that. They're playing hockey. They definitely care, but like it's also like the regular season. So like what do you want them to do? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like get
Yeah.
out of here.
And
So-
the rivalry is clearly still there in some ways, but not like it was. It's not like used to be that everybody knew like, oh, Gino and Sid hate Ovechkin and Ovechkin hates them or what like that's what it felt like back in the
But,
day. But now it's kind of like they're friends, but they both still want to beat each other in
I don't
in the
think they
game.
were I don't think there was
yeah.
ever like between the
Hate.
individuals, I don't
Yeah.
ever think it was like that ever.
Maybe
Yeah.
not hate,
They
but
were
you
just
know,
competitive.
intense rivalry.
I
Yes,
think
yeah.
I think what it is and I think it was like on the Jordan series, you know, the whatever the 3-peat deal.
Last Dance.
Yeah, so like I think he said it like, you know, yeah, you know, we're all good players, we're all great players, but we're all going for the same goal. So when you have these two sort of, you know, greats going after the same thing, they're going to butt heads, right?
Right.
In pursuit of that goal. But I don't ever think that like I don't ever think there was any like ill will towards each other ever. Like,
Well, not ill will,
I
but you
think-
know,
I think it's more like, hey, you're in my way, right? Like other players are not in my way because they're not those type
they're
of
not on my
players.
level. Yeah.
Right. Like right. So like I think that's the relationship in competition. And I like when like Sid will never it's not his personality to kind of
No, he
get
would never say
into
that,
a lot
no.
of that stuff. But like Ovechkin said over the last few years that they communicate.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Well, that's what I
often.
mean. That's what I was saying
And-
is that at one point I'm very sure that at the very least Gino and Ovi were not great. They were not comrades.
Maybe.
Apart from the fact that
I
they were
think-
Russian.
I think part of
But-
it though, they grew up in different parts of Russia to
Yeah,
some extent
right.
too.
Yes.
So
Mm.
I think that's more like kind of like a Boston and Minnesota thing. You know, like
right,
they-
perhaps, yeah.
they kind of
Well, they came up in different clubs, right?
exactly.
So in the,
Yeah.
in
That's
European
part of it.
club
That's
model,
That's what I'm saying. It's totally different.
right?
The
Like,
only time in the next little bit where I see like the Gino, Sid, Ovi rivalry, whatever you want to call it, like getting, and I won't even call it height because it won't be the same, is in 2026, the next Olympics, if NHL players go,
ugh,
because that's
God.
kind of their last kick at the can.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it, like Canada like has a far better roster on paper and Team USA compared to what Russia will. But Vasilevsky probably will still be in net, and he's the best goalie. Like I don't care what anybody says. And they got the 2 other guys, Sorokin, and Shesterkin. So like the three best goalies in the league are all Russian.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you got Connor McDavid coming down, and Nate and Makar and all the other guys.
You got McDavid, Nate, Makar,
Sid.
Connor Bedard's going to be a couple years in the league.
Yeah.
Sid may not even be a top 6 player.
Exactly.
On that
He'd be
team
a
by that
fourth liner.
time.
Yeah,
Right.
he's going to be a third or fourth liner.
You know,
Canada's fourth line will be like Stamkos, Marchand, and Sid. Like, what the hell? And don't forget Barzal and Bedard will be scratches. They'll be healthy scratches.
Yeah, right.
So like, sheesh. Like, I mean, Team USA, we're gonna have. I think defensively, we're gonna be okay because we have the Hugheses, Rowensky.
You got Austin Matthews. You got Jake Gensel though up front. Like that team's going to be great too.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
yeah. Jack
Yeah,
Eichel's
so we'll see.
finally
Jack Eichel,
figured it out.
Kachucks.
Yeah, we have the
Yeah,
Kachucks.
the Kachucks. Yeah,
They'll be nasty to
Kachucks.
play against.
they will be
Good.
nasty. Yeah,
Good.
that USA team will be grindy.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It'll be a little
like
bit
it.
more.
Germany will be scrappy. Sweden and Finland will be just fine.
God, I hope they get to go. It would be
We'll see.
such a buzzkill if they can't go. If they say they can't do it.
You gotta get.
There's still a hang up in the international game, though, as we know.
You got to get McDavid in,
Yeah.
man. You got to get McKinnon in. You got to get McCart. Like, I want to see those guys play at, on the international stage, best on best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that. That's what you want to see.
John Cooper, even though he's won 2 Stanley Cups, a Calder, Kelly Cup, all that shit, the team he said he had the most fun and the best team he ever coached was that U25 Team North America.
Yeah.
That was a fun tournament.
It was a cool event. Right?
I like that.
It was
Yeah.
different. It was totally different, and it was exciting. And I guess the one hang up with some of the kind of shit they're doing now, like talking about it, because obviously it reignited with the baseball World Classic, which was awesome, by the way. I watched quite a few games.
It was awesome.
Like even Great Britain, like I forget, the catcher is he's either like in the Angels or Diamondback system. He plays out west. I mean, soccer is king over there, but he's like sucking up a little bit of oxygen in Great Britain for baseball. Like that's
Yeah.
great. That grows the game, whether or not you think it or not. Like that grows the game. So I mean, imagine like kids in our country watching Poppy and Johnny Gaudreau on a 2-on-1. Coming down, burning Makar, which could happen. Watching Willie Nylander go down and snipe Vasilevsky. Like I'm just calling out guys, but
That's
like,
right. He's
that's
gonna
what I'm saying,
be-
like-
yeah.
Sweden and Finland are
Dude.
going to be a-okay, dude.
They'll be all right.
Yeah,
They're
they'll be
gonna
fine.
they're gonna be a-okay. Actually, Team USA will have Aaron's boy Clayton Keller. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Yeah.
Squandered in Arizona. We got to get it in. Arizona sucks. Well, there you go. Episode 137's all done. If you made it this far, hey, thank you so much for your listen. We really appreciate it. And if you found this podcast enjoyable, tell your friends and teammates about it. If you like it, they'd probably like it too. We'll be back next week with another episode. Till then, have a good one. We'll see you.